also important to understand that while we want you to try to keep your account as clean as possible, and that, yes, if you can get that one IP infringement removed, that means that if you get another one, you don't have two now, right? But a lot of times people panic over one, or they panic over that first thing that happens to them. And it's just really understanding that unless you're really in the situation where they're planning on suspending you, that it might be better to focus your energy somewhere else.
In that light, I don't want to give someone's first seeing us here
Right.
a wrong impression. How many thousands of items, and all three of you can answer this, have you sold, and how often do you have to deal with these inconveniences?
Right. I would guess that this is less than 1% of our sales that we end up with these things. I can't even tell you how many items I've sold, but it's in the tens of thousands. And I may have had one or two situations where I had to really battle Amazon over what I was doing. So this isn't something where, and it's unfortunate sometimes you have a new person who gets caught up in it rather quickly, and so they don't have the same experience to know that it is a small, kind of a small thing in the big picture. But absolutely, it isn't something that you need to worry about on a daily basis. Quite honestly, it's a small portion of our business.
I've had one I can't pronounce it. Inauthentic claim
In 11 years?
in 11 years. Yeah, one.
I've had one suspected IP complaint in 2 years, and I had one trademark infringement. And this trademark infringement was on a POD mug I made. My POD mug said, "I enjoy nice long walks down every aisle of Target." Okay, so the bots got it. And I got a deal, and it said trademark infringement. So I went to the patent.gov, and I looked up the Target thing, and I took a screenshot of it, and I sent it to Amazon, and I won. And so that one cleared off my account. But, I mean, one suspected in 2 years, it's not an everyday thing.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, next question, right here.
Hi, I'm Danielle. And along those lines, for people that are new, can you set expectations as far as what to expect in the event, for instance, that she keeps emailing and she never gets the right person? So what are the results and what happens to the product?
It really depends on what the issue is. A lot of times, if it is an issue where they've issued what they call an IP infringement, they will suspend the listing and you'll have to just call it back. And we talked today during the workshop on how to check these things in advance now and try to avoid these kind of issues. And it's really important to understand that everything about Amazon as far as seller metrics is a percentage. And so anytime you have a problem with Amazon, like you have a bad feedback or you have an IP infringement or anything that might be considered, or you forget to reply to an email within 24 hours, all of those kinds of things, it's really important that you can fix those things by simply selling more stuff. Right? If everything is based on a percentage of what your other stats are, the more you sell, the smaller that percentage becomes of the one thing that was bad. If you've sold 10 items and you have one problem, that's 10%. If you've sold 10,000 items and you have one problem, it's 0.01%, right? So it's really important that you understand that everything that deals with these kinds of issues, seller metrics, are all percentage based, and they can be fixed simply by upping your game and having more perfect transactions so that they take away from that one bad transaction. Well, first of all, we don't call, right? There's no phone number for us to call Amazon. We open a case and ask them to call us, and they call you very quickly. So it's really a matter of whoever calls you, hoping that it's the right person. And if it's not, you thank them very much, and you go right back and you say, "Please call me." and as with all things, and it's not just Amazon, as with all things, there are some people who are really looking to help you, and others who it's just their job to check a box. How many can, and we talked about that today, by giving them the right language in your requests and not giving them a lot of choice. You just say, when can I do, when can I expect, when will you? That has a tendency to give them the opportunity to do what we want them to do. If you lead them in the right direction, often they will do what we want them to do. So when it comes right down to it, in these situations, and you just have to keep trying.
Regardless of that big dream, you've got to build a foundation. You have to have a business that has cash flow.
If you need more cash, go out and source some more. Shove those products into Amazon, what's gonna spit out the other end is profit. It's that simple, isn't it?
Then they start looking at it as, this really is a system. So how can I add more to my system? How can I start to scale this?
That's why this is so integral, each pillar leading up sequentially to that long-term reliable business.
These are the real assets then that somebody who wants to buy a business, this is what they look for.
This is the brand launcher, the career launcher, the income launcher. It's a beautiful thing.
How many of you are interested in selling your business? Build it to sell, make a profit.
They can learn and master this skill and then turn around and do it multiple times over.
Yes, you can make $1 million just selling on Amazon alone.